So let's talk about, because, when we do the actual session,
Mhm.
let's talk about what has happened to get you to this energetic level.
What? Oh, the
Yeah.
okay. So
So how did it all start?
with the energy,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, with the energy, because
well,
that's what you're doing. I mean,
right? Of course.
it's like you're,
I won't spend too long on my childhood, but I said when I would, put my Matchbox cars on the floor when I
yes.
was young, and I used to try to move them. And then when I would sit in my room, we had a shelf, and there was like stuff on there. I would try to, make them fall off.
You knew intuitively.
And I wasn't upset that I couldn't move them. I know it wasn't time for me to move them. I wasn't upset at all. And then when I would wake up, that thing I was looking at would be on the floor. So I believed everything, and I've never, now, I mean, not then, but nothing is off the table for me. I know that. I know that without a doubt.
Yeah.
Nothing is off the table. Nothing. The best is to come.
So how long have you been doing this now?
Healing, because I was reading people for money, mediumistically. Also, I went through a period of that also.
Okay.
So that's, and I think what that was for was to meet all these mediums, so many groups, so many good mediums, all different levels,
Yeah.
that are helping me now, that are coming for healings, and we're doing an energy exchange. I'm healing them, and they're reading me, and they just want to. They call me. I don't call them. They call me. Oh, I just got chilled. They call me. Can I come? Because I just want to sit next to you and connect, because I'm the only one that can get that high through to that higher level. And it takes them a long time to go up the ladder. Every time they meet me, they go higher.
Well, I think that's one of the hardest things for a healer, to find a healer for them.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so. How you're connecting with them, they have one skill, but they need.
Yes.
It's like, I hate to say it, it's like taking out the trash. You need someone to actually.
Right. Yes.
You're trash collector, but you need to be able to dump it somehow.
Yes.
And you're allowing them to get to that higher level where they can.
And the mediums are the most profound healings, and they pay me what they charge their clients. I make sure of that. So they're the most profound healings, because they see, even though most of them are Pleiadians, a lot of the women that come to me are Pleiadians. I see a lot of Pleiadian energy, and they're pretty funny, the Pleiadians, because there's a little bit of, like when I'm doing a Pleiadian, a healing on a Pleiadian, I'll hear, like, you sure you know what you're doing? You sure you know what you're doing? It's like, oh, I know that voice. It's hers. It's her. And they joke around, because I know the Pleiadians are like a lower vibration than the Arcturians, are like 9, 10, maybe higher. I know there's a lot of different vibrational Arcturian, and the Pleiadians are kind of like in the 6th or 7th, I think. So they're always kidding around, like, you sure you know what you're doing? You sure you know what you're doing? You know what I mean? Like it's just, there's like a camaraderie when I do a Pleiadian. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When you meet someone, do you know immediately what they are? What am I?
You mean like what kind of ET? I don't know. Because a lot of people that I meet, and it's mostly women, because I can't look into a man's eyes, because usually I can go through the eyes, which I haven't really got into your eyes yet.
Yeah.
Because I've been warned about that. Like, and I'm just going to go off. Remember what I was going to say, but for years there have been people in readings that tell me, like, they're telling you now, because you have to, because they're going to be telling you for the next couple of years. Be careful with your energy when you look into women's eyes, because it's overwhelming, and they're going to take it as the wrong way, or they're going to feel things and they think it's your love, which it's not.
I get the same thing.
Okay.
I get the same thing.
So it's hard for me. I don't want to. So I'm going to do it now, since I said that. But as far as like what you are, a lot of, I'm going to say women, because like I said, a lot of my clients are women. I can feel the angelic realm with them also, or Pleiadian. Not that you can't be both. But with you, I haven't figured it out yet.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
I have a lot of I think gatekeepers.
Okay, yeah, you do. There's a blockage.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of a grief blockage.
Okay.
That's why I asked you that. Because I have a lot of gatekeepers.
And I know you have the the schooling also. So I don't want to confuse that knowledge, the knowledge energy with with your, and I don't feel it.
Because I have too with my guys,
Okay.
and my friends around, and they're very protective.
Mhm.
You know, they kind of it is like a gatekeeper. You
Mhm.
know, they don't allow certain things to come through, or for anyone to get too close.
Okay.
So that's why I asked that
Yeah.
question, because it's like, I wonder if anybody would talk about that.
Yeah. I think if I had you on my table,
So
I would see who comes.
but you'd have to almost like ask for permission to, if anyone would step forward to
I
speak
agree.
with you,
I agree. Mhm.
because it's not like you can just go through,
Right.
because
Because you're aware of who you are, and the other ones that
Yes.
come to me aren't,
Right.
and I'm helping them to
Right.
make them aware.
Yeah.
It's a totally two different stories. Yeah.
And it's really funny because I wore this color for a reason.
Yeah,
and
but
think
I was going to
this is
say
really-
Arcturian,
Yeah.
Arcturian.
Yes.
I went Arcturian Orion, and then I went Arcturian, and then I saw the
Yeah.
blue there.
Yeah.
So I've never met a lot of Arcturians, so maybe that's why we're not connecting that well. Not that we're not connecting, but that
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know any Arcturian.
seen-
Oh, just see should I wear some
Look at that.
Arcturus?
Yeah, I've seen myself as an Arcturian
Okay.
in a different lifetime, and
Okay.
I didn't know what to wear. I said, I'm going to wear this one today,
Yeah.
and now I understand why I'm wearing this.
Yeah,
one.
I just
It's like a representative of my.
I was
race.
going through, like I said, the Pleiadians, they have more of a I don't know the word. There's a character to like Pleiadian women that I can pick out.
Mhm.
You don't have that, but you have a more of the Arcturians are more, even their voice, like the Pleiadian voices are more, they're closer to the human. They sound more humanistic. The Arcturian voices for me are more like stern, borderline robotic. You know what I mean? That's how I get them.
All right. Yeah.
So, and then the
Makes sense.
Orions are even
That makes sense.
not worse than that, but they're even,
Yeah.
but that's, yeah. So,
That makes sense. Doesn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. That's why I asked about that,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a barrier around me.
Okay.
There is a barrier for a good reason.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing as far as the healing, and how is it that you do this healing? Is it something that you mentally do, or you're just like almost like a transmitter?
The actual like in my room where I do the healings, or well, it all started in my room, in
Yeah.
my apartment. I have a beautiful apartment. It's got a huge ceiling. I must have 20 plants, and they're freaking huge. They're coming like down the wall and growing on the floors.
Yes.
They're just really, really vibrant. I have stones everywhere. And I don't have stones everywhere just to have stones everywhere. I the North Shore is a rocky beach. I have a carpet in the middle of my floor where I put the table over, and I just have stones from the beach that I put there. And I use the beach as like a library. I'll leave them there for a couple of weeks, and then I'll put them in a pail, and I'll bring them back, and then I'll bring new ones. So that's what I do. I rotate them like a library, let them reset or whatever. So when I first started to doing it, I was a little not, because I wasn't never taught anything.
So you were just doing this because you like doing it?
Yes, I got people from work that would come, and I shared it with them, and they would come. They were like my guinea pigs, but not my guinea pigs. But then would leave, like, oh my god, that was the best. They're getting better. They're getting better. And that went on for like 2 years before I actually started telling people that I was a healer. And then when people started coming, it was all, I thought the Arcturians were controlling the whole thing because they were there in the beginning. And I said I had like a square ceiling, but it was like vaulted after that. And I would see all the Arcturians before all my healings, like looking down, like, like that. You know what I mean? And I would do the healings.
With your eyes, you saw them. With your side.
My peripheral vision is more sensitive than my eyesight.
You see it with that.
Yeah, no, I saw them. I could feel them, and I could see them. I can see the little ones too. Towards the end, when they eventually left me from my own. They told me, it wasn't us, it was you. But towards the end, the little ones were up there, and they were running around. I can see the young ones. And when the young ones were up there, there was about a 6-month period when the young ones were up there. And when I would do the healings on, I'm going to say the higher vibrational people, whether they were healers or mediums, they would say, "Oh my God, who were the little the beings running around the table?" They were speaking about like how she overheard one of them, and she's a Pleiadian, and she says one of them was talking to the other, and they said, "How did he get her here?" Meaning they were supposed to meet, and I just met her in a group, and she came. But as far as like my healings after that, then they were more touching in the beginning.
Yes.
And not that and they were kind of all kind of the same. And then they started getting, I would see people leave their bodies. I would be working on somebody's feet, and I'll be looking at my plant, which I do. I use my plants a lot to ground when I'm on the feet. And I'll see like her sit up, and I'm like, oh, she just sat up. She's not done. And I see her soul smile and just like take off. Like she just left her body. And what's weird was when that happened, I had my hands on her feet. And when she left her body, I actually felt her body get lighter, even though my hands were on top of her feet.
Wow. I
felt that. It's experience I could never.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. I felt her body get lighter, and my hands were on top of her.
Wow.
It's like, that was pretty cool.
So where do you feel your energy coming out?
When I'm healing, or just in general sitting here?
General.
Right here.
Okay. So it's from the heart.
Mhm.
Okay. And then when you're healing, it's coming from your hands?
It depends. No, it comes, well, it used to be my palms.
Yeah.
And I used to do a lot of healings with my eyes closed, and they said, you got to open your eyes. They did it in stages.
Yeah.
And then like, open my eyes. How do I heal with my eyes? And then I would be doing a healing, and I would like look at like, say, the feet. I'm up by the head, and I look at the feet, and all of a sudden like it wiggles. It's like, what? And I look at the other foot, and then that one wiggles.
What I'm getting
now, these are powerful, my middle fingers.
What I'm getting from you, I mean, this is just my intuition, is that there's a vortex around you. I mean, I could feel it. You know, there's like, it's like a transmitter that's transmitting.
I agree.
But when you direct either your eyes or your fingers or whatever instrument, it takes that vortex and focuses it. That's what I'm feeling.
I agree, because you're about the 15th person that's told me that, but only within the last year. Wherever I go in my apartment, and I think my whole apartment now is one gigantic vortex.
That's what it feels like.
It is
sensitive, very sensitive to energy. And just sitting here, just with my hand out like this, I could feel the energy going.
Okay.
You know, it's like,
yes,
it's almost like when you're in, if I want to think about it, either when you put your hand out the window and you go, and you feel it, or you put your hand in water and it's swooshing. Just with the hand out like that, I could feel like boom, boom, like an energy.
And I have no intention of, not that I don't want to heal you, but I am balancing you whether I think about it or not. But I could like heal you as you're sitting there, like conscious. Like if I set an intention, you'll feel my hands on your shoulders, and you'll feel everything just by me sitting here. But
just the fact that I've got my hand out like this,
okay,
the hand, I feel my clients when they're here, and it's almost like I'm playing in the water.
Okay.
You know, when the water's gone by, and you just like, let me just play with a stream. It's almost like my hand is in a stream of water.
That is interesting, because this just came to me recently. I would say in the last couple months, when I'm doing the healing. I mean, obviously it's about the body and the energy, but a lot of times I'll just, on top of the body, I'll just do this. I'll get higher and higher, and it feels like I'm underneath water in a swimming pool, and I'm just moving the energy around. So that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking up.
Yeah.
So I'm understanding. That's why I'm asking you certain questions.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Ask me anything.
When I'm with my clients, I pick up stuff like this, and like, for example, I have a really strict rule that when I'm doing a session with someone, no one's allowed on my property. I saw that, yeah. And that's the reason why I'm very, very sensitive to, I want to make sure that when I'm with somebody, it's just them. Because,
right, yes.
just anybody on the property will interfere with it.
And even the person here could be still connected to the
Yes.
spouse or whoever on the property. Yeah,
Exactly. So, it's really interesting to play with the energy like that and feel the energy,
Yeah.
because I don't usually get to talk to somebody about it,
Mhm.
because I will feel energy from other people.
But you won't say anything? No.
No, because some people put off really bad energy.
I agree.
Okay. And
Mhm.
you're not going to say like, oh man, I feel
Yeah.
prickly. I feel like you're like a porcupine right now.
Yeah.
You're not going to say that, but I feel it. And that's how it helps me with my session, is I know what I'm working with. But I just wanted to give you some feedback,
It's all
because we're all energy.
it's all love. I'm telling you, I could cry. It's all love.
Yeah.
It's all love. That's all I have. Nothing else.
So what do you
I
want to
have
do?
no baggage.
What do you want to do with it?
I want to share it. And that's why I'm here. Because I'm bored with what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I want more. And I know they can only, this is what I feel. My energy, I've never had a bad day. I've never had a bad day in my life. No matter what I tell you, I've never had a bad day in my life. And my energy feels like, and I'm conscious of the earth energy also. And obviously the earth is ascending.
Yes.
And I feel like that I'm waiting for the earth to ascend so I can go higher. Than the earth ascends and I go high. I feel like I'm at my max, like 99.9% potential, not as a healer, but as my vibration, because I think my healings, I've spoken to, I'm going to say Pleiadian, because most of my ET people are Pleiadians.
Yes.
And I'm going off track here, but I remember speaking to her, and this is when they were showing me the colors in my healing. And they don't show me everything all the time, because it would overwhelm me. They show me maybe one gift they give me per healing, and
I think it's overwhelming if you get too much.
of course. And I was speaking to her and I said, oh my God, she felt something. And I was like, oh my God, they just showed me what that was. And I said, they're showing me like how I'm going to be healing in the future once my vibration gets there, and other things. And she said, well, tell me. And I was like, give me a second. And I had to look at her, and I looked at her. I was standing, she was still sitting on the table. And I looked at her and I said, I have to blow in your face. And I blew in her face and I looked at her and I said, you're healed. And she almost collapsed. She's like, oh my God, like I felt that, like, and not that I need to have that, you know what I mean? But I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have to go through a lot before I get there. I know that, but.
Yeah. So tell me, I know we talked about it yesterday, but tell me again about your connection with Yeshua.
Okay.
You saw that Yeshua was in the front door then?
I saw that. Yeah, it's the first thing I saw. So, like I said, when I was growing up, it was like Jesus Schmeezus, you know what I mean?
Because you grew up Catholic.
Yes. So, but the thing I told you with the gold pouring into me, and I write nothing down. I write nothing down. I have nothing. I don't even have a pen. It doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter, because when I write something down, I get stuck on that and I'm looking for something similar. If I at least forget about it or put it aside, I get something brand new. So I like the moment. I like the next moment. I don't like past moments. So that's what I love. Everything excites me, even waiting for the next moment. But as far as Yeshua, it was Jesus in the beginning. There was a couple times in my life where I was in a tough spot, like when I asked for that negative energy, and there were things that were happening to me where it just came through me. It says, I have faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm like, where the F did that come from? Where did that come from? I've never said that in my life. I've never read it. I don't know where that came from. I just got to chill. And that kind of didn't get me out of a lot of situations, but kind of calm things down for the moment. So I had a couple of those experiences. A recent one, I'm going to go all over the place because they're going to come to me like spontaneously. There was one time where I was in my bathroom and it was kind of like twilight. It was kind of dark, but not dark. And I just was staring into my eyes and they got really black. And I'm like, and I've experienced really black in my past, darker than human dark. And I was kind of, I don't know if I should look into them, even though everything is all my, that one attachment is gone. We can speak about that, but that is gone. I can't
Okay.
even recreate it, or I get the feeling.
What was it doing to you? That dark.
Let me just finish the
Okay,
mirror
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
So I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, you know what? Let me just look. It's gone. Why bring fear back? And I looked at myself in the mirror, and as my eyes were getting bigger, like ET, darker and darker, black and black, I hear, I have faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. And right when I heard that, I went even to like a zone that I've never been in. And I felt myself as an extraterrestrial or an Ectorian. So that got me past that fear, that little bit of fear that I had with the dark. Do you want to go into the dark thing that happened to me? Okay, just, like when I was younger, everything was like, from when I look back now, it was paranormal. Everything was paranormal. I was into all the paranormal shows. I like Psychic Kids. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. That's when I watched TV. But I would get home from school, and I'm going to try to do this quick because I have to, when I got home from high school, I was probably smoking pot back then. I couldn't wait to go home and lay in my bed and just stare at the ceiling. And some days I would push my energy out where I could, and I have to go into my astral traveling. I would just push my energy out, and I would just feel myself going higher and higher and higher. And then I would go somewhere like, whoa, what the F was that? I'd get out of bed and say, what was that? But then I go back in bed and I do it again. And then there were days where I get home from school where I'd just bring the energy in, and I would connect to people, almost like picking up the phone and you don't know who the person is. And I would connect with something that would say, here I am. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. So that's when I felt the energy connection. I don't know what it was, but that got me in trouble also.
In what way?
Because I didn't have any gatekeepers back then. I didn't know who I was or where I was going. I was a lost soul, pretty much.
Yeah.
Plus I did drugs. I tried everything once or twice for my high school years, but that was a lesson also. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
But
a lot of high school kids get into the dark with that fear.
Yeah, but so, and I pretty much got everything I asked for. Then I'll get into the apparitions. Then I got married. And then one of her aunts had died. And not that I was happy. It was like, oh, this is the closest person that I've ever met that has sat in front of me that has died. I was like, I'm going to connect to her. Like I am. I didn't know how to. And I would say the Our Father in bed. I probably said it for a couple of weeks straight. My ex was laying next to me one night. And I had my head on the pillow, and I know the light, we had an apartment back then, and I know where the light comes through from the street lights. But I had my head and I saw like a light here, and I was like, that's by the closet. There shouldn't be light there. And I opened my eyes, and I saw the bottom of like a dress floating in the air. And then I kind of followed it up. And it was like a 1927 dress, floating like the American flag, almost like loose, translucent, where you can see through it. And I saw the collar. And then I didn't look at the face because that was in like 1985. And that's when I was still into the paranormal stuff. And I still had fear back then. So I never saw the face, but I knew it was her. It had to be her.
And she appeared to you as she was when she was probably younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I got that, and I got many other things that I had asked for. So that was the light part of it.
Yeah.
So even before her, like as I was praying, I would wake up and I would look around the room and I would look for the light, her light. Okay, so then the flip side, another year or two, I was still doing good with the paranormal. I got everything I asked for, just experiencing so much stuff. Time shifts while I was driving and all kinds of stuff, just everything. And then I wasn't happy. I was probably drinking. I probably weighed 230 pounds, probably 50 pounds more than I am now. And I was bored. I said, you show me light, and I'll show me darkness, because I'm bored. I need something.
And you're a master manifester. So.
Yes. So those nights when I was sleeping, after I asked for it, I would wake up and I would start looking around the room for the dark spots. And I didn't know why. I know why now, but I didn't know why then.
Yeah.
And I was looking around for the dark spots.
And you found them?
What?
You found them?
Okay. So that went on, and then I started getting paranoid. I couldn't sit in a room unless I was sitting in the corner. So because nobody could be behind me. I couldn't look in a mirror anymore. Like when I was home, I just got chilled. When I was home by myself, I would put the bathroom mirror open because I didn't want to see who was behind me.
Oh, wow.
When I walked down the street, the car windows, the reflection, I could see somebody walking behind me out of my peripheral vision,
Wow.
or something walking behind me. I was paranoid. So I drank more. My attitude was repulsive and disgusting to every human being, not outside, but inside. Um,
Yeah.
and then I was having dreams of this being would haunt me in my dreams. And all the dreams were back, even though I was married and moved out of my mom's house, all the dreams took place in my bedroom when I was in my mom's house. And it was just this thing. I can't describe it because it's gone, but it was just this thing that even if I just stepped one foot in the room, it would just grab me, the door would slam and books would go flying and it'd levitate me off the floor. And it was just horror, it was just terror. And I would have probably 2 of those a month, probably for years. Yeah, it was like for years. And then one day in my apartment, actually it was a condominium. And it's weird because it was in the light of day when this happened, when I finally met it face to face. So I guess my wife was gone for, must have been a Sunday morning. I was sleeping in and I had my head turned to the right and we have a lamp there. It was like a porcelain lamp with a shade on it. Actually, I was facing the other way and I felt like something looking at me. I was like, well, it's light. I'm not scared. So I turned around and the lampshade was still there, but where the base of the lamp was gone. And there was a 3-dimensional head there. It had a goatee. It looked human, kind of Middle Eastern. Interesting. And I made contact with the eyes and it looked through my soul like I didn't exist. And it said, I own your fucking soul.
You think it was a jinn?
I don't know what it was. That was the low point of my life.
So how did you get out of that?
Okay. I got divorced after that. Probably 6 months after that. Yeah. Just things started changing. When I got divorced, I moved into an apartment where my mother's sister, aunt, and her husband lived there. They offered me the apartment downstairs because I was paying child support. And he was an alcoholic. And they got divorced. So it was just me. I was living in the basement. He was living upstairs. I was pretty much taking care of the house because they weren't charging me much. I knew them very well. And I was his caretaker. He would just drink. I'm not telling you how many beers he would drink. He would drink like 10, 18 packs a week. Bud Light. And I would take him back for him and clean up mow the lawn and take care of the house because I didn't want to live in a shithole either. Then he died. He drank himself to death. He was only like 52.
Liver poison.
I guess so. I came home from work one day and I found him. And that's a whole nother story where I was almost going to move out of the house, even though we didn't see each other because I worked nights and he was sleeping when I left. And then when I got home, he was at work, but I could feel the energy in the house. Even if it was a day like this, it was so dark. And I was like, I just gotta chill. And this is killing me. It's like, I was thinking about moving out, even though they were only charging me like $200 a month. I couldn't handle the energy. I'm gonna do the story that I was gonna avoid. But then one morning I came home and he was like, it must have been a weekend. He was eating breakfast and I looked at him. I was like, hey, what's up? Because I had to use the stairs and the inside to get to my apartment.
He was dead.
No, he was alive.
Okay.
This was before he died. And he was eating breakfast and I looked at him twice and he didn't have an aura. He looked like a cardboard cutout that was black and white. That was black and white. So this is going to be interesting. I'm glad I went back to this. So I do my stuff, whatever, and I had to go to sleep because I work at nights, and I go to sleep and I leave my body. I want to go through the whole astral projection thing also. I leave my body and I go up to where he was sitting, and he's not there anymore. He was in bed. And I don't know why I went there, but I was like, not sitting in the seat, but I was like above the seat where he was eating. And I saw all these angels. One of the first times I saw angels, and I know there were angels because they were super, super small, like beams of light, kind of like floating around like little butterflies. And they knew I was there and I knew they were there, but we never connected. We acknowledged that we knew we were there. And it looks like they were cleaning up like memories, like everything he touched, all this energy they were collecting. And then I woke up, I woke up, I was like, whoa, that was pretty weird. I got ready for work. It was dark night. And I went upstairs to go to work. And even though it was dark, the house was so full of brightness. I'm like, oh my God, he's dead. He's in bed. He's dead. I'm not going to go in there. And I
Wow.
went to work and I came home, and usually his car's gone. When I come home, it was there. I'm like, he's dead. And I found him. He was dead. Yeah. So that was that interaction.
It gives me chills because it's so beautiful
It
how
was.
you know, I think the death process is a
I do
beautiful
too. I do too.
process. And it's just amazing what work the angelics do to
Mhm.
prepare your soul
Yeah.
to go.
Mhm.
And I love those stories
Mhm.
because it's just a beautiful
It
thing.
was amazing.
Wow. So he was basically already living dead
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
he was even,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
yeah. And are you able to see people's auras,
Not, I can't,
or you don't focus on it?
I can't ask for it, but I can see it spontaneously. Usually when I ask something, I don't get it. You know what I mean? It has to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. The mind is a disgrace for me. They just showed me like a wrench. You know, when you throw a wrench into something, like a gear, that's what my mind is.
You and everybody else. Because a lot of people that I talk to, it's like, I want to have these gifts. And it's like, it's not the way it happens. It comes at the right time when you're ready for it. And not before. I just think, I mean, I've been developing my gifts for years, but very slowly.
Yeah, it's like watching paint dry, right?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I started with my process, I would say officially, like in 1988 is when my
Okay.
awakening really was
Okay.
official. Look how long
Yeah, yeah.
it's been, very slow, but I think,
It's more seasoned when it takes that long.
yes, I
Yes.
think that because of that, well, we didn't have anybody to tell us in the 80s and the 90s
Of
about
course,
this
yeah.
stuff. And you were always in the closet about this
Mhm.
because you don't talk about it. But I love the stories about how people come to be with these gifts because
Mhm.
everybody's different. You know, the new kids now, they just like, woo, they're right open, plug and play. You know, they're already connected. But the generation, you know, from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you know, that were born in 70s, it took a long time for them to wake up.
Even now, if I'm doing a healing and I ask for something, and I do sometimes, like if the client's like, well, you know, someone died or whatever. And
Yeah.
so if I'm doing the healing and I ask for something, they're like, this is not about you.
Right. Right.
This is not about you. And
Yes.
it's like, this is not about you.
Yes.
It's like, put me in my place.
Yes. Yes.
So I'll do the healing, and then when I release that, I forget all about it, then it'll come through automatically, not when I ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they taught me
Yeah.
that well.
Yeah. You know, that's one of the things about when we teach other people how to do hypnosis. Many of them have this idea that they have to get something accomplished out of that
Right.
session.
Mhm.
You know, and I feel so bad because I didn't get a healing out of it. It's like,
Okay.
this is not about you. This
Yeah.
is not about you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about service. Yeah.
You're a facilitator,
Yeah.
the one getting the healing.
Right.
All of their guides, all of their angels, all of that's
I-
what's doing the healing. You're just facilitating the ability for them to heal.
And then when you figure that out, you grow the trust between what's coming through you,
Yes.
and you don't even need to be there.
Right.
It's that trust. So you think you have to ask for, oh, I just got another chill. They're happy I said that. It's the first time I ever said that. They're happy.
Yes.
Yeah. So that trust is,
Yeah.
the trust. Yeah. It works both ways.
Yeah.
And with trust is gratitude also.
Yeah.
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 Trust and gratitude
Yeah. I don't
makes it
know
work.
how when you work. When I work, I'm very adamant about not knowing anything about my
Of course.
client.
Mhm.
Some of them like to write like their whole life.
I noticed that
history.
when we were doing that, and I respected that totally. I like it better that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to know anything about the person because that creates a prejudgment now.
Of course.
And now it's like, oh, you know, what's this going to be about? And
Mhm.
I'd rather have a clean slate. And the moment somebody comes, it's like, okay, I feel the energy. I get,
100%.
you know, and then
100%.
and because it's not about me, it's not about their history, it's about what's going to happen at this
Right.
moment. And That's why, when we were talking yesterday, we'll see,
Sometimes
I have no expectations.
neither do I. Sometimes, and this works both ways when I go to see someone, and not that
Yeah.
I've never gone to someone for a healing except in the earlier days, but
Yes.
whether it be a reading, or even if somebody's coming to me for a healing, I know when they leave their house and get into their car and their intention is to come to me,
Yeah.
because I can feel if they're high vibration,
Yeah.
which some people surprise me that they're so high. I can feel the vibration in the room preparing for them. And I'm like, whoa, this is going to be a good one. And then they walk in the door and it's somebody that I work with that I don't even like, or they just screw you over and stab you in the back, like,
Yeah.
but when they're on their way for a healing, it's like, oh my God, this woman is like way, and it's amazing healing. And they prepare me, like my breathing and everything else is pretty cool.
Yeah. And when I'm doing this work, it's really funny because I think we were talking about it yesterday, kind of. I feel myself very grounded. I have, it's like, I don't know how I do it, but I feel almost like I feel very solid.
Okay.
Like I'm this
Okay. The anchor.
to the balloon.
Okay.
When I'm doing my sessions.
I feel like that. I feel pretty good now, but it was one of the biggest surprises in my life because I always wanted to be out of my head. Even when I was taking mediumship development classes, and this guy was really good. He'd be teaching me, go, John, come back. John, come back. John, okay, everyone. John, you have to be in your body if you want to read. I said, oh, I always thought you had, and then I started grounding myself, and I started feeling everything from the inside instead of going out and connecting to it. I was connecting everything to the inside. And that's when my healing started working well also. Yeah.
I feel very, when I'm doing this work, it's almost like my energy is very rooted.
Okay.
Like I feel
that's perfect. That's perfect.
To the ground.
Like, I can only say that once a year that I feel really rooted.
But that's how I feel when I'm doing this work. Like I'm almost like one of those trees out there.
Okay.
Like my roots are really deep in the ground, and it happens automatically.
Yes. Okay.
When people are like, when we were talking out of the dock, I felt like my roots were like down to the middle of the earth. I just feel very, the higher the person is on the vibration, it feels like I'm digging in real deep. I don't know if that's a balance.
Yeah. I'm just seeing that. It could, they're showing me a bolt of lightning. It always goes to the ground, so it would be coming through me, and then you would be
grounding it,
doing the second half. Yeah.
That's how I feel. It's really interesting how, even in and here's the picture that I'm getting. The picture that I'm getting with your vortex. Okay. Imagine a tree in the middle of a stream. That's a river that's rushing. That tree, in order to be by that river, has to be very deeply rooted. And you look at these trees and you're going, oh, look, that they're not really upset because there's rushing water, because are very
I agree
deep. So it seems that that's what I do when I'm with Mike. I'm bouncing this off of you too. That's what I do. Is I'm the one that
I agree.
Keeps rooted, and even though I fly off with them, but I'm still the one in the ground. It's kind of interesting how you learn about that stuff.
Okay, so do you want to hear my astral travel story?
Absolutely.
Okay, I never finished the how I got rid of my attachment. Okay, so my uncle died, and I was still living in the house, and I was hearing him whistling, like working in his back area, and I knew it was him, and I was like, it's pretty cool. I was, that's pretty cool. Hey, Bob, what's up? And then he was actually touching me. I would be sleeping, and I would feel this, like it was actually here. I would feel that like twice. I'm like, what the hell was that? Well, it was probably a muscle spasm. And I was like, Bob, if that's you, do it again. And before I could even say again, I would feel it. And I was like wide awake. So I was connecting with that now. Then I started going to groups. I started reading people's minds at work. I knew what they were going to say, or even if the person wasn't there, I would hear their voice, and then I would hear them way down the hallway talk to somebody. So I was opening up here now, just because he died, and he's became one of my big guys. after he died.
So what's his name?
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah. I mean, even though his name is Robert, he allows me to call him Bob in the,
Okay.
but he was a real big catalyst to kick me off into, where I am now. But so what happened was I was, even though I still had those dreams every couple of weeks, that horrid dream of that attachment,
Mhm.
I started going to, mediumship things and meditations, and I met some really good mediums that I just love, like watching them read me, and they just validated a lot of stuff inside me.
Yeah.
And they all were telling me, like, this one woman finally said, like, Archangel Michael, like, what's up with that? And I go, what do you mean? I've heard it 3 times already. And they're going to tell me 3 more times and 3 more times that you have to get some kind of pendant or something, which I have one now. So I knew he was always the, the warrior or the protector. So back then I couldn't afford one. So I do have a little one on me now. And when I meditated, I just acknowledged him, and I didn't ask him for anything, because I don't like asking, because I like thanking, not asking.
I ask a lot.
Okay. I don't ask for him to come in, because when I ask him to come in, I hear I'm always near. Yeah. Or I'm here, or I'm always near. It's like some kind of thing with that. So I don't ask. I just think about him, and he's here, and then I thank him.
Yeah.
When I ask, it feels like that creates a lack, that I'm lacking something.
For you, yeah.
For me. But
I do it for my clients.
Okay.
Because they need to know that it's being taken care of.
So I found this great meditation place, and I went there for probably a couple months, early in the morning, because I got off at 5 a.m. and the deer were like sniffing my hair while I was doing the meditations. I was doing healings on trees, and I didn't even know it. They were pretty much guided meditations. And then one day I was leaving the whole thing, and there was this gigantic tree that was huge, and I just saw and felt like the energy going into the earth. And I'm like, let me get a little of that. And all I had to do was like stand next to it, and I could feel it like turning sideways to get to me.
Yeah.
I was like, this feels like really good. And I walked out of the place, and then all of a sudden, everything that I've experienced without attachment all came back to me in a split second.
Yeah.
And I felt it leave. And the exact moment it left, I felt the light come in from all the work that I've done on myself. I felt the light just come in and replace that. And I'm gonna break down. And I went right to Michael, and I was like, thank you. And before I even got the thank out, he's like, no, thank you for calling on me. And it was the first time I ever felt gratitude energetically, the first time.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and it was gone forever, because I tried to get it back and it wasn't even there anymore. It was effing gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
You needed to go through that.
Yeah. I'm grateful, not happy. I'm grateful that happened.
Yeah.
Because I can help people with that also.
Yeah. I think that's what's lacking in people is really.
Yeah. They want to get to the finish line. They want to start at the finish line.
Right. You have to go through a dark night of the soul to understand where you've come from. I mean, this is part of the human experience, and you can't magically take away all of your heartaches, because that's what makes you grow.
I agree.
Yeah. So the angelic realm, we're talking about that, your astral travel.
That was the beginning. Yeah. My astral, well, I'll do my astral travel. That wasn't really that much angelic. The angelic realm kind of came towards the back end, like within the last couple of years. I mean, Michael started it, and I have other favorites also.
Yeah.
But so when I was in like my 20s or 30s, or when I first got married, there was like a year that went by that I had like the same dream like 5 nights a week. And I was like, I thought it was a dream, and it was me floating over the house watching myself sleep, through the roof.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I having the same dream over and over and over again? Why am I having the same dream? So then there's one time I was up there dreaming, and it was like really lucid, vivid. And I was actually able to like look around at all the other houses, and I was like, I wonder if I can go over. And I was there. I wonder if and I was there. I was all over the place, but I only stayed like on a horizontal level. So that was pretty cool. I was having a lot of fun. So then when I couldn't wait to go to sleep, because then I could just go travel around the neighborhood, and I was getting further and further around the earth. And I call that like the earth plane astral traveling, because it went a lot further than that. And then all of a sudden I started having these dreams where I call it the learning tree, and that's from my own self.
Yeah.
There was this gigantic tree, and there was all other souls there, and they were teaching us to go vertical, up to the top of the tree and down, up to the top of the tree
like
and
a
down.
school,
And there, excuse me?
like a school.
Yeah, yeah. And there was a guide there also, like, yeah, you're doing that right. You're doing that right. It was a higher
Amazing.
guide. And I called it the learning tree. And that went on for a long time, maybe a year also.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden I got, cocky, and I was like, oh, what if I go higher than the tree? And I was like, I can. And I started going up, and the earth got smaller. Then I was in another dimension. And that's how that started.
Wow.
And then I would go to another dimension and another dimension. A year later, another dimension.
So what was in these dimensions?
Okay, so when I first started, almost you can apply it to nature also.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I meditate, and I have to go here. So sometimes when you see a bird fly, you'll just see it flying by itself or with another bird. Some you'll see 10 of them flying together, and then some you'll see thousands of them flying together. So when I astral traveled in the lower realms, when I first started in probably the 5th or 6th, I could almost see like another being, almost like Earth-like, but not, light body, human in between. Hey, what's up? Let's do this. Almost like a date, you know what I mean? And we do that. Sometimes it was a group, and then as you went to the higher dimension after that, it became more as a collective of consciousness, and you could still connect with the consciousness one-on-one, or you can join a whole group that match your fingerprint. It wouldn't just be someone who's on a really low level that just, is on a drug trip.
Right. It has to be the same level.
Yeah, because they all gather together. All that fingerprint, that vibrational fingerprint stays together. So then I started traveling with them. Then when I went to a higher one after that, it was just nothing. It was just a thought and a hum and a moment.
Wow.
It was really, really high. Then there was higher ones after that. I'm guessing I was pretty high to the top, where I would wake up, and when I woke up and I walked around my apartment, and I said, holy shit, like 100 times, I knew that I will never figure out where I was. Yeah. You can't do it with the human brain. So, and once it started when I was in my 30s, it never ended. And now I know I meet with the Arcturians, because I've met with the Arcturians in groups also. And other beings.
Now, when you're with the Arcturians, do you ever look back at yourself while you're with them? No.
I've never seen myself as an Arcturian. No.
Okay.
But they did. Here's a good story. Yeah. This is going to be really short. This just happened recently. I was sleeping, and all of a sudden, I go where I go.
Yeah. And
all the Arcturians are there. It's like, oh, there's a party here or something. Like, and they were all happy. And you could tell they were like trying to be human, but they weren't. You know what I mean? It was, and all of a sudden, my son's soul was there.
Oh.
And my son was like on the other side, and I was there, and all the Arcturians were there. And they're like, Michael's an Arcturian. Like, and they went, yay. And I woke up like, whoa. I woke up like I am that right now. In 1 second, I was like wide awake. And I get a text a minute later, what the fuck just happened, from my son. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was with you.
Yeah, he was there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a connection you have.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So that's my astral travel. Obviously there's 40 years worth of stories with that, but.
So what do you want to get out of this today? Do you have any expectation?
No, I just want to connect.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's
okay. Have you ever been hypnotized before? Okay.
So how do you think it's going to go? Like, just off the cuff, like quick answer. You think you're going to be able to do that?
Of course.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how it works. I've never looked at any of the videos, any of the Facebook pages that you offered.
Listen, you're already channeling.
Okay.
And we channel other aspects of ourselves all the time. So I'll just take you through a little,
That's fine. Yeah, you don't have to tell me. Yeah.
You do meditation anyway, don't you?
Yeah, if you call it meditation. Yeah, obviously I have to. Yeah.
So we're just going to go through whatever comes to me. And we'll just take you somewhere.
Okay, I'm fine.
Wherever your soul wants to take you on this journey.
Good. Yep.
And we'll just find out about these things. You're going to be wide awake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to hear things around you. It's going to be normal, but it's going to feel like a daydream.
Okay. Is there a focal point that I should look at, or it doesn't matter?
I'll tell you about that when we get to it. Okay. We'll be in the bed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we need to do. Just focus on my voice
Mhm.
and your imagination. And I
Okay.
think that's what you do
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And as your guides start talking to you, you just tell me, just get out of the way and just
Let the
start.
floodgate open.
Just let it open. Every single session is totally different. So
Mhm.
I don't know what
Okay.
it's going to look like.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.